The first hearing on the case of pensioner Natalia Krasnova against the national air carrier Air Astana took place in Almaty on Monday. The woman seeks to recover $100,000 from the company for moral damages. This summer she was not found on the list of passengers on the flight Ust-Kamenogorsk-Almaty, even though she bought her ticket in advance. Krasnova sued the carrier after spending the night on the street and declined the initial offer to settle out of court.
National air carrier Air Astana refuses to pay pensioner $100,000 for moral damages. Natalia Krasnova is trying to collect the money through court because on August 1st, together with her one-year-old grandson, she was not able to fly from Ust-Kamenogorsk to Almaty, even though she had a ticket bought in advance. The 62-year-old had to use her last savings to buy a new ticket and spend the night on the street. It was a very cold night and we had to spend it outside, since we've been told that the airport is closed for the night. Until midnight we sat in a cafe, but then literally waited till morning on a nearby bench. On Monday, an Almaty district court opened the litigations. Krasnova says that during the check-in, her ticket didn't appear in the database. A carrier representative said it was due to a system failure, but the company staff treated her with indifference, supposedly taking her for a swindler. She suffered physical pain, humiliation, threat of life and hopelessness because the defendant kicked her and her baby out of the plane on a whim while brutally sneering at them. Before the trial, the company tried to settle for $280, the cost of a ticket, and a $50 discount for the next flight. During the hearing, a representative of the carrier said they are ready for new settlement conditions. We are ready to compensate the damage inflicted by the company, but consider the amount of $100,000 too high. Air Astana's defense claims the Ust-Kamenogorsk airport is not closed for the night and the pensioner didn't have to spend time outside the terminal. Apparently, the comfort of sleeping on the waiting room's iron benches is equated to a timely flight to the destination. The court will decide whether this is the case on November 19th.
Citizens of Kazakhstan no longer trust in mortgage borrowing. On Monday, top managers of the Mortgage Guarantee Fund, the subsidiary of the National Wealth Fund Samruk-Kazana, attempted to promote the stability of the post-crisis mortgaging. It should be noted that due to the strict approach to the risks, the company appears not to have that many clients. Now it became obvious that people are unwilling to use the fund's services even after the supposed passing of the crisis.
On Monday, Kazakh citizens were reminded that mortgages are still openly available. The widely covered arrival of the 25,000 client is a part of the public relations strategy. This is how the Mortgage Guarantee Fund attracts the private sector. Astana has invested around $10 billion from the National Fund to support strategic banks and large companies. Now it is important to make at least some of this money to work as the market engine. We have an agreement with the Alliance Credit. This must be one of the first programs launched post-crisis. They have affordable rates. Currently, there are not a lot of people ready to take out mortgages, as many have suffered because of that before. Participants of the press conference said Kazakh citizens are gradually recovering from the crisis, but still do not rush with new mortgage initiatives. The reasons for this are crystal clear to those who suffered from the last massive campaign. The distressed mortgage holders have their own promotion strategy, complete with posters, petitions, long lists of untrustworthy officials and stories that no banks will share with their clients. These mortgage loans lead to suicides, strokes and divorces. Many children end up fatherless. Real estate agencies look at the market with cautious optimism. Apparently the bottom is reached and there is nowhere to fall further. Still, no one forecasts when the country will exit depression. We believe the crisis is not behind yet. We do witness a period of recovery and reanimation, but not to a full extent. All mechanisms like the mortgaging are not fully working yet. Also, the operation of many construction companies is still suspended. Experts feel that the development of the financial sector is tightly linked with the wide availability of mortgaging. However, it is more important to regain the mutual trust of lenders and borrowers. For now, though, banks pose extremely tightened requirements, while the population is still too cautious to approach them again.
The authorities of Ust-Kamenogorsk are also trying to solve local housing issues. Around 30 tenants of an apartment block that is still not connected to the heating network held a protest action in their inside yard. Residents claim that the construction of a loft on the top of their building is undergoing with numerous violations, while the local administration does nothing about the issue.
Following 2 months of heavy downpour, everything has collapsed.
The residents say that because of the attic construction, the apartments of the 5th floor are in need of complete overhaul. Even ceilings cannot sustain frequent floods. In early autumn, officials said that this house will be linked to the heating grid on time, which however remained only a promise. The construction of the attic is continuing for more than a year now, just as long as conflicts between tenants and developers. The city administration blames tenants themselves as supposedly they cannot reach an agreement with municipal workers to replace standpipes, halting all works. Now representatives of the city administration say the building will be connected to heating network in several days. The house will have heating by Wednesday. The panic is created by tenants themselves because they didn't provide access to the apartments. These were all the top stories from Kazakhstan for now. Join us tomorrow for more. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.